This section that follows is more important even than the rules in the rulebook. Coralgate is a LARP. This means that it's roleplay first, really. Yes, we love combat. We approve of combat. You know, go have fun, beat on other people. However, roleplay is really the name of the game. It's a live-action role-playing game. With role-playing comes hard, difficult situations like PvP. You could get killed, or you may want to kill others. But if something happens and you do die, don't take it a bad way. It's part of the game. The person didn't kill you, just killed your character. You have more lives than your characters, or you can earn more. And if your character does permanently die off, you can always make more. You can still enjoy the game. If something happens that is not so much to your liking, if someone keeps on hitting too hard, or if you see someone do something that's questionable or possibly illegal, please come tell a producer or a director. Don't complain about, you know, that person's a little cheesy or that person always hits too hard or whatever. Please, we'd rather know so that we can correct the problem. Keep in-game and out-of-game separate. Really, this means do your best not to talk to your friends about the dragon you killed as your characters. I know it was fun, I know it was awesome, I know you want to tell the world, because it was so exciting. But having been there and done that, it actually makes the game less fun, because when you tell your friends, they know all about the situation. They know how to kill a dragon if they ever find it, so you're ruining sort of their fun. If you really want to tell your friends what happened, I mean, tell it to their character. One of the most important ones is do your best at all times to stay in-game while you are in an in-game area. An in-game area is pretty much the entire site, except for bathrooms and the inside of your cabin if you choose to have your cabin out of play. Pretty much everywhere else is in-game, so if you're wearing a white headband, you know, get out of the in-game areas as soon as possible, go res, or go get food and go back to your cabin or whatever, because you're ruining the environment for everyone else. Likewise, even if you don't have a white headband on, if you're bored sitting in the middle of the tavern as Bladlov, you know, the warrior talking to his friends, you don't need to turn back into Joe Schmo talking about WoW. Talk about, you know, the monster you killed last night, or the quest that you want to do today. An issue that sometimes comes up is if you're out of play going to get food, or you're monstering, or playing an NPC, or whatever. Your character still exists in the world somewhere. He's probably making shoes, fishing, or something, but he's still somewhere, which means that he's still subject to in-game actions. Which means that you will always, if you plan on playing your character for more than 5 minutes to go use the bathroom, then you need to leave your life ticket and all of your in-game items that your character would carry on them anyway. Either on your bed in your cabin, if it's in play, or if your cabin's not in play, then even when you go to sleep, then you're going to need to find a spot for your character to sleep in play. And this can be, you know, out in the woods, it can be in someone else's in-play cabin, wherever, but in that case you're going to need to have a body-sized fizz wrap. Something that's the approximate size of you. It can just be a couple of pillowcases stuffed with leaves, whatever, something obvious, and then you put your life tag and all of your in-game items on your fizz wrap. This prevents a character from disappearing with all of their stuff and being immune to in-play actions and repercussions. For more information upon this particular system, feel free to ask any director or producer. Monstering is an important function of the game. Everyone has to monster for 3 hours every gathering. Now you can feel free to monster for more if you want, but everyone's required for 3. You pick a monstering shift whenever you pay to play. Every gathering. These are what we call stock actors sometimes, is also monstering, but you go out and you play monster. Now obviously we can't show a lizardman or a dragon or what have you. So what we do is we put people into tabards. These are square pieces of fabric that only has a hole for your head. They're usually bright primary colors and they say empty on them or something similar. It'll be obvious, I promise. When you see someone in this tabard, since you really don't know what they are, you say, "What do I see?" This is an out-of-play calling. This tells the person who's playing the monster to give you a description. The monster cannot pause, nor can you pause to get a description from a monster. So, if you're really close to a monster, he may be giving a description and killing you at the same time. There are times when you may not see what's going on, it may be really dark, you may not see if someone's wearing a tabard or not. In this case, you can still call out, what do I see? If it's another PC, it's another actor, or if it's a fully phys-repped monster, then they will say, you see what you see. Searching is, again, an out-of-play call that you make on an incapacitated monster or stock actor or regular actor. Searching means that your character is literally rifling through pockets, all inside their clothes, pouches, whatever, to find anything in play. Obviously, since this would violate the privacy issues and player permission to touch, when someone says search and you're incapacitated, then you just go ahead and hand them all of your in-play things that are on you at the time. We don't do a describe your search, we do not do a actual search system here at Coordinate. Alright, now we're going to talk about the miscellaneous rules that don't really fall into any particular section, other than you need to know them. Alright, one of the first ones is the one in-game item per hand rule, which means that while you can carry a lot of in-game items in your hands all at once, I've got a potion and a weapon in this hand, I cannot use either one for an in-game purpose at the moment. I can't pour this potion in my own mouth or someone else's, nor can I hit anyone or block anyone with this weapon right now. If I want to do anything, then I'm going to have to either put one of them down or put them in another hand. And in this fashion, I can now call damage or block damage with this weapon, and I can pour this potion. If you start a verbal or begin a skill, whether or not it works, or it hits, or it's even useful, or some monsters that are immune to certain spells or actions, then it's considered used. If you get hit by something that silences you in the middle of a verbal, then you lost that spell. Or if you decide not to clear that spell, it's still used, no matter what. Don't start it unless you want to use it. Spell packets are not in-game items. You cannot see these. They cannot be taken from you. You cannot call a pause to go retrieve them if you run out. However, you can do other things while you have spell packets only in your hand. I have spell packets, or just one. I can also have a potion in this hand, and I can use this potion. I can pour it in someone's mouth, I can pour it in my own. However, if I want to cast a spell, I cannot cast it with a potion in this hand, or with a weapon, or any other in-game item. If I want to cast a spell, I have to have nothing else in my hand except for other packets. Alright, nothing blocks an attack or a spell from behind. If it hits your back, you're gonna probably take it. The only things that can stop it are a couple of skills, like a blade shield or a parry, which, especially parry, you have to call parry within 3 seconds of getting hit with something. The only other things that can block an attack, or rather just a spell from behind, is going to be a spell shield of some type. Otherwise, if you get hit in the back, you're going to take the effect. Certain combat arts require a certain type of weapon to be used. For example, a crushing strike will require a blunt weapon, such as a mace. As you will know from reading the rulebook, the same type of strike can be used to negate a strike. So if I were getting hit by a crushing strike, I could use one of my crushing strikes to negate it. However, while you have to have a certain type of weapon to use a strike, if I was carrying a bladed weapon, but I knew crushing strike, I can use a bladed weapon to block a crushing strike by expending one of mine. Anytime that you negate an attack by using the same attack, it uses up one of your uses. You may only have one physical defense spell up at any time. Physical defense spell is additional body points or armor points. You may only have one spell shield that either negates a type of spell or prevents some of the damage, again, of a certain type of magic attack. This can combine for a total of 2. You may only have one physical defense spell and one magical defense spell at any time. If you get hit by a magical attack and you have a spell shield that blocks that type, then you say negate and the name of the spell that allows you to negate the offensive spell that was thrown at you. And you have to say it within 3 seconds, just like you have to say parry within 3 seconds of getting hit and attack. If you don't, then you're treated as if you didn't have that protection.